Picture the scene. You wake up fired up. You dump every piece of candy in the house, sign up for the most expensive gym you can find, and swear on your life that from now on, you'll run every single morning and survive on grilled chicken and brown rice. For the first 3 days, you feel like a hero. You push through the muscle soreness. You ignore the growl in your stomach. You white-knuckle your way through another mile on the treadmill while sweat burns your eyes. Then day 7 rolls around, or day 10. You drag yourself home after a brutal workday. Your nervous system is fried. Your knees are screaming. You feel miserable, exhausted, and completely hollowed out. And suddenly you're standing in the kitchen at midnight, halfway through your second chocolate bar, drowning in guilt. Sound familiar? You are not alone. Millions of Americans fall into this exact trap every single year. For decades, the fitness industry has been selling us the gospel of the grind. We've been sold a toxic lie. No pain, no gain. We've been conditioned to believe that a great body is a reward for suffering, and that carrying extra weight is punishment for laziness. But physiology tells a completely different story. Your body is not a lump of clay you batter into shape. It is a breathtakingly complex biochemical system with one prime directive: keep you alive. Today, we are going to shatter that myth once and for all. We're going to talk about why punishing workouts and crash diets can actually block fat loss, why simple daily walking is the most underestimated weapon in your arsenal, and how to build a way of eating that lets you lose weight and actually enjoy the ride. Let's start with the physics. If you're carrying extra weight, running may actually be the worst thing you can do, at least right now. Here's why. When you walk, the load on your knee joint is roughly equal to your body weight, but the moment you break into a jog, the impact during each foot strike spikes to 2 or 3 times your body weight. If you're carrying an extra 30 or 40 pounds, every single stride is slamming your knees with the force of a boulder. You're not burning fat. You're grinding down cartilage, torn menisci, tendon inflammation, chronic lower back pain. These are the calling cards of overweight beginners who run before they're ready. And the moment injury takes you down, you're on the couch for a month, and every pound comes back with interest. But the damage isn't just mechanical. It's hormonal, and this is where things get fascinating. Because cortisol changes everything. Cortisol is your stress hormone. When an untrained body is suddenly thrown into intense exercise, all-out running, CrossFit, heavy lifting, your body doesn't think, "Oh great, we're finally getting fit for summer." It thinks, "We are being chased by something that wants to eat us." In response to that perceived threat, your adrenal glands flood your bloodstream with cortisol and adrenaline. And here's the cruel twist. Cortisol actively shuts down fat burning. Your body decides that if times are this desperate, it had better hoard every single calorie in those fat cells. After an intense session, blood glucose crashes, and your brain, genuinely believing you just survived a near-death experience, sends one primal, screaming signal: refuel immediately, or we will die. That's the reason so many people devour 1,500 calories the moment they walk through the door after torching 400 on the treadmill. Willpower doesn't stand a chance against 200,000 years of survival programming. Now let's talk about walking. Plain, unhurried, rhythmic walking. The most natural movement in human history. Our hunter-gatherer ancestors covered 10 to 15 miles a day on foot. Our bodies were architecturally designed for this. From a biochemistry standpoint, walking is borderline magical. When you walk at a comfortable pace, your heart rate settles into what exercise scientists call the aerobic fat-burning zone, roughly 100 to 120 beats per minute. And here's the key. At that heart rate, your body has exactly enough oxygen to unlock and metabolize fat cells directly. Intense running demands fast fuel, glycogen stored in your muscles and liver. But long, relaxed walking, it runs beautifully on fat, literally. You're strolling through a park, listening to a podcast, and your body is quietly, methodically burning through its own reserves. Walking doesn't spike cortisol. In fact, rhythmic movement outdoors actively calms the nervous system, reduces anxiety, and lowers baseline stress. You won't come home ravenous. Your joints won't ache. You don't need a gym, a membership, expensive gear, or an iron will. You just need shoes and a door. This is the activity you can sustain every single day for the rest of your life, without burnout, without breakdown. Exercise scientists call it NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. I know, the name is terrible, but the concept is everything. Research consistently shows that NEAT accounts for a far greater share of your daily calorie burn than formal workouts ever will. Walking is not the lazy option. Walking is the foundation. Here's where we take off the rose-colored glasses. Walking is incredible, but no amount of steps will outpace a genuinely bad diet. You cannot walk your way out of consistently overeating. Everything in weight loss rests on one unbreakable law. To lose weight, you need to spend slightly more energy than you consume. This is a calorie deficit. No supplement, no waist trainer, no detox tea touches this equation. Eat more than you burn, weight goes up. Eat less, weight comes down. Full stop. Now here's where people make the second catastrophic mistake. They hear calorie deficit and immediately sprint to the extreme. 900 calories a day, 0 carbs, 0 fat, 0 joy. This is diet mentality, and it is a slow-motion disaster. Severe restriction is a ticking bomb. Yes, you'll drop 8 pounds in a month eating nothing but yogurt and sadness. But you'll also lose muscle, crash your metabolism, wreck your hair and skin, and push your brain to the absolute edge. And when the diet inevitably ends, because it always ends in a binge, you'll regain everything, and your body, traumatized by the famine, will stack on a few extra pounds just in case. This is the yo-yo cycle, and it quietly destroys the long-term health of millions. So how do you actually eat? The secret is to stop subtracting and start adding. First, and this is non-negotiable, add protein to every single meal. Protein delivers the longest, most powerful satiety of any macronutrient. A 3-egg scramble will carry you to lunch without a second thought. A bowl of sugary cereal will have you rummaging through the pantry in 90 minutes. And protein has a high thermic effect. Your body burns up to 30% of protein calories just by digesting it. Chicken, turkey, fish, eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, shrimp, lentils. Put a protein source at the center of every plate. Second, add volume. Vegetables. Lots of them. A small bag of trail mix is 500 calories, and your stomach barely registers it. But 500 calories of roasted vegetables and grilled salmon fills a dinner plate, stretches your stomach, and leaves you genuinely satisfied. Vegetables are water and fiber. They crowd out calorie-dense food, smooth out blood sugar swings, and kill those sudden, desperate cravings for sugar. At lunch and dinner, half your plate is vegetables. Any kind, whatever you actually enjoy. What about carbs? You don't give them up. Oatmeal, brown rice, sweet potatoes, whole grain pasta. These belong in your diet. They're the fuel that powers your walks and your life. For treats, pizza, ice cream, chocolate. Here's your framework. The 80-20 rule. 80% of what you eat is whole, nourishing food. The other 20%? Yours. Completely guilt-free. But eat the real meal first. If you sit down starving and reach for cake, you'll eat half the pan. If you've just finished a full meal, you're satisfied. You'll take one genuine, savored bite of dessert and move on. There are no bad foods. There's only quantity and timing. Demonizing food breeds disordered eating, not health. One more thing. Drink water. The hunger and thirst centers in your brain are neighbors, and they're terrible at sending clear signals. That mid-afternoon craving is often just dehydration in disguise. So how do you build all of this into a real life? Stop chasing revolutions. Forget the dramatic 30-day transformation. What we want is evolution. Slow, gentle, durable. Week 1. Movement only. 0 dietary changes. Download a free step counter, check your baseline, and add just 20 minutes of uninterrupted walking each day. Get off the bus one stop early. Park at the far end of the lot. Swap one scroll session on the couch for a neighborhood loop with headphones in. 20 minutes. Your brain won't resist something this small. Week 2. Change one meal. Make breakfast protein-based. Eggs any style. Smoked salmon. Greek yogurt. Just that one change, your energy stabilizes, and your mid-morning cravings quietly disappear. Week 3. Tackle liquid calories. Soda, juice, flavored lattes, invisible calories that deliver zero fullness. Swap them for water, sparkling water with citrus, black coffee, or tea, and make sure lunch and dinner always include a solid portion of vegetables. Week 4 and beyond. Scale up. Push your daily walk to 40 minutes or an hour. That's the sweet spot where fat burning runs at full efficiency. Start tuning into portions, not obsessively counting, but eating until you feel about 80% full. Let your body breathe. And one final pillar: sleep. Deep sleep is when your body physically releases fat. During slow wave sleep, your pituitary gland secretes human growth hormone, one of the most powerful fat-burning agents your body produces naturally. When you sleep only 5 or 6 hours, cortisol stays elevated, ghrelin spikes, and you wake up craving sugar. Sleep is not a luxury. It is infrastructure. 7 to 8 hours, non-negotiable. Weight loss is not a sprint. It's a long, quiet walk. And I mean that literally. You don't need to be perfect. There will always be birthdays, holidays, brutal work weeks, bad weather, and nights when the couch wins. The goal is not to never slip. The goal is to slip, shrug, and keep going the next morning. One extra slice of pizza didn't make you heavy. One salad won't make you lean. Only the thing you do consistently, day after day, changes your body. Your body is not your enemy. It is not a project to be punished into submission. It is your home, the only one you'll ever have. Give it food worth eating. Give it movement worth sustaining. Give it rest. And watch how quickly a body that feels safe, well-fed, and genuinely cared for starts letting go of what it no longer needs. Believe in the process. Ignore the 3-day miracle trends. Choose health. Choose consistency. Choose kindness toward yourself. And right now, not Monday, not next month, right now, lace up whatever shoes are by the door, smile at yourself in the mirror, and step outside for 20 minutes. That single step is the beginning of everything. Go. You've got this. If this resonated with you, send it to the friend who's currently punishing themselves on some miserable crash diet. They need to hear this more than they need another week of kale smoothies. Subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive on living lean and feeling great without ever hating the process. Drop your step count in the comments. Until next time, keep moving forward, always forward.